Good morning. So it's just gone 7 o'clock. I have a very husky, deep voice because I have picked up a sore throat and a bit of a cough from somewhere. The first in a couple of years, which I have to deal with. So the reason I'm doing this video is one, to show you that everyone gets ill sometimes. Even me. This is the first time I've been ill in the last 3-4 years, and if this is the worst that it gets, then bring it on, because it's just a bit of a sore throat and a bit of a cough. But I wanted to start a series of videos, a series of 10 videos on golden rules that I think are worth following in terms of making sure that you do what you set out to do. Let me explain. In terms of New Year resolutions specifically, this time of year, not everyone, but a lot of people are starting a clean slate, getting back to routine and everything. So it's about not wanting to repeat the mistakes that they made in 2018 and wanting to start afresh in 2019, which I get. However, there are ways and means to do it so that you actually do what you said you would do, as opposed to not hit anything that you set yourself because of X, Y, and Z. So the first rule to follow when it comes to setting some goal or resolution is to set up your accountability. This is probably rule number one. Being accountable to what you say you are going to do. So accountability is basically being held accountable, having some kind of weight, having some kind of consequence for excuse me, for if you don't hit it, or having someone else looking over your shoulder so that you feel the almost peer pressure, I guess, although no one can physically put that pressure on you. We're not in a dictatorship. However, having a friend or a family member who is even just aware of what you're setting out to do can lift that probability of you actually achieving what you said you would. Because I know sometimes it's like you don't want to feel silly for having said you were going to do something and then not following through, or sometimes you feel the peer pressure because it's like, well, I'm going to make sure I do it, otherwise X, Y, and Z is going to happen, or they're going to laugh at me or whatever. But it's not about using accountability to punish yourself. It's just about using accountability to push yourself, I guess. So give us a wave if you're watching me cough and splutter in this video this morning. But this is video number 1 on 10 golden rules to follow when it comes to doing what you said you would do. Hi, Sally again. So this first video is about accountability, and a prime example of this is with my Warriors. So my Warriors turn up for 6 a.m. sessions, and their accountability is kind of hinged on the fact that they declare that they're going to come to session. I can see in our bookings that they've declared they're coming to sessions, and then they let everyone else know in the group that they're coming to sessions, and then they want to excuse me, then they want to save face by actually turning up, and that in itself drives them to do what they said they would do in terms of actually turning up. And then once they've turned up, the session is pretty much delivered for them, and they have to switch off their thinking and they just get on with the doing. So that's what you want. Accountability is basically the link between you setting out to do something and you actually doing it. And as long as you can make that accountability as strong as possible, then you're going to have much more of a chance of achieving what you set out to do. So my accountability that I set out at the beginning of this year was that by the 1st of April, I will have written my first book. So the clock is ticking, and I have been held accountable by announcing it to social media, and I'm going to look damn silly if I don't follow through. So that's the accountability for me. So the question for you is, have you set up your accountability for what you have set out to do for 2019, or even just in the first 90 days? 2019 is a long time, 365 days. So just think about setting your accountability up in short stints even. It could be, if I get to XYZ, then this doesn't happen, or this will happen, kind of thing. It's all about taking responsibility and understanding the consequences of you doing or not doing something. Okay, so I'm going to go and get some cough medicine. Sally, I will see you next week, and everyone else, I will see you very soon with video number 2 on my ramblings on the 10 golden rules to follow when it comes to doing what you said you would do. Take care.